Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is David, this is David K Reacts, and here on this channel I ramble with articulation, I hope, about a variety of different musical, visual and audio elements of the videos that I watch. And today I am coming back to Nightwish. This is a video that was sort of heavily requested in the comments of my last video. I looked at Lantern Light from their latest album, Yesterwynde, and everybody pointed out that I'd started at the end, which I actually honestly hadn't clocked in the moment. I just jumped in. I didn't really look at where it came in the order. But yeah, they pointed out that I started at the end and that maybe I should have a look at the beginning, which is the song Yesterwynde, or Yesterwynde, which is what I'm going to check out today. I haven't listened to anything else from the album since that. I've been hoping to get to this a little bit sooner, and so I'm very, very keen to hear more. The one thing that's going to be a little different for this is an official lyric video. To the best of my knowledge, there is no music video, which means there's not going to be an awful lot to talk about from the perspective of the visuals here, but that's fine. I heard the recommendation. I heard the the fact that I saw something somewhat out of context, and I'm excited to see how that story begins. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I don't really have much more to say for this, to be honest. So this is going to be a very, very short introduction. And we're just going to move forwards. So I will say welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. If it is, the way this works, I'm going to watch this through from beginning to end. I'm going to comment and emote over the top of it. I will then go back and watch it a second time, this time pausing, interrupting, and offering what commentary and analysis I feel I can, based on what I've just seen and heard and the foreknowledge of that one prior viewing. Please do hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. And if you would care to support the channel, you can do so by heading over to buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts, to patreon.com/DavidKReacts, or by leaving a super thanks here on YouTube. And any of those, of course, very gratefully appreciated if you should choose to do them. And that's about everything I have to say, I think, because I don't really know what I'm getting into. So without any further delay, we're just going to bring the video up here, and let's check out Nightwish's Yesterwynde, or Yesterwynde. I feel like that pronunciation was in the previous... It was in Lantern Light, and I should have checked that before I started recording this. But I didn't, so there we go. I'm sure I'll learn that momentarily. Here we go. Oop. Bring my volume up. There we go. Okay, so we're starting with the film camera like we had. This is gorgeous. I love the vibe they're setting here. Ooh, nice. Oh, that is such a cool way of representing lyrics. Ooh. The wonder and the mystery and the harmony. There's the piano. Ooh. Oh. The music's setting such a visual landscape just by what it sounds like. Ooh, that's... Wow, this harmony. Of course, I'm familiar with this landscape and this room. Oh, I like that a lot. That's really, really cool. I feel like there is so much happening in terms of the scene setting that was paid off at the end, and I understand now why people were saying I'll sort of see. I think somebody said I'll see the gears kind of wind up the way that I saw them wind down in Lantern Light, and I can absolutely see that. The setting and the locales and the environ of Lantern Light are all here, and very, very well kind of utilized to create this scape that's going to be where the rest of this album takes place, and I really, really love that. I'm just going to see if there's any information in the description. I shall be right back. Or actually, I can just do this now, can't I? Right, because yes, my second monitor is at least temporarily working again. So let's have a look what we got here. Directed and animated by Pete Voutilainen. Produced and written by, I don't know how to pronounce this, Sturba Harju, I would be my guess. Production company Kimu. I was interested to know where the stock footage came from. That was whether it was anything specific. I don't recognize it, and so I don't know whether or not there is any relevance to that. If there is, if you know what that's all about, please do let me know. I would be very interested to hear that. And then mixed by Tuomas and a couple of others at Finvox Studios. The mixing in this, and actually the mastering too, is really, really good. The way that they're using the sound is remarkable. I really, really like what they've achieved here. So we're going to go back and watch this again and check out what I can pull out of this, because there's some really, really cool musical things happening in this video. First things first, I love that we start off, even before you hear the whirring of the film reel, we get the impact of this visual sort of identity at the beginning that looks a little bit like faded film. Like you can see the flickering of the black, and that there's that couple of the little strand of white that flickers across the screen, and then this amazing, like, ghostly apparition of a face that slowly comes into greater focus. I don't ever quite. Yeah, right as it's about to become fully focused, the flash of that light comes through. That is such a powerful introduction. It's very, very eerie. It's very ethereal. And I think it's a really cool way to set up a piece of music like this. You know, for a symphonic power metal band, they're starting out with this very reserved orchestral introduction, which makes complete sense. I think it's a wonderful way to start an album. And actually, the one thing I was wondering was whether we were going to get a sudden drop of the metal in the middle of that, and we didn't. And I actually like that. I like that this is purely that choral and solo vocal harmony with orchestral instruments, and it doesn't really go further than that. I think that's really, really effective. The restraint in this song is really, really impressive. And that's such a cool effect, because we can, as we see this come in, if I can grab it quickly enough, we see the little flicker of the light in the lens, and then we get a little bit more clarity. You start to see, but you don't really get the sense that you're seeing the camera. But then after the flare, now it's very clearly the camera that we're looking at. But I feel like we didn't see the reel underneath the light and things like that. So it's a really, really nice little transition there between those two shots. I like that. And then just in the background. Oh, that's so interesting, because we have this which is kind of center register. You know, it's no particular extreme in either direction, and then this boom comes in with but up the octave, sailing in over the top. We suddenly, it's like with the click of a switch, all of a sudden we have this breadth in this song. We've had this little fade in, and then boof, it spreads right out, and that's such an interesting way of starting. That single point of focus all the way out to what sounds to me like about a 5-octave stretch between the top and the bottom. Very, very cool. That's such a wonderful way to start. Out of the darkness, which is what we've had. I mean, that's what we started with, darkness, and we've come out of it with the light of the camera, but also even just that face coming out of the darkness at the beginning. And as I say, we never fully saw it 100% in focus, but it was almost there, and it came out of the darkness. That's so... I love that we've got this... just carrying on at the bottom. And then on Bind to You, we get the dum, 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 and it resumes. That's really, really nice use of that pedal down the bottom, the pedal note. Also, really, really nice use of rhyming and scansion here. Out of the darkness and into the light is what you expect, but it's out of the darkness and into the bright light. So we get the expected sound, but we don't get the expected word. And I like the wordplay there, the slight subversion. Yes, we're saying the same thing, but not quite the way that you expect it to be said. And I think that's kind of cool. And it allows that into the bright light, da 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 da. But we can then lead before, so da 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 da. But because it's da da, we can indicate that we're going to continue down. We're not expecting to stay here into the light, but it's into the bright light, and we're going to continue down. It's a nice little bit of leading. I love that the switch as well in the vocal focus. So we have, I know Troy did backing vocals for this. I don't know what the composition of voices is precisely, whether some of the other band is joining in as well, but this lovely choral sound that we've got here. But the out of the darkness and into the bright light, I assume is Troy singing. But then Fleur takes over, and you get that switch from male to female voice with the ties that we bind, yes. There's that sailing voice over the top, but it's not the lyrical focus, and then here it becomes it. And it's nice too, because the we carry fades away a little bit. It's slightly harder to make out that specific two-word section than it is the rest of it, and it's almost like it's transitioning between the two voices in that moment. That's really, really nice. That hold of darkness. The idea that the darkness has been there for a long time kind of thing. But it's lovely because we get the out of the darkness at the same pace in the male voice, but the female voice continues. And it just gives us that extended sound that then leads us into the next section. That's a really, really nice choice there, because it pauses the phrase for a second. It changes up the rhythm of what we're hearing. It doesn't let us sit into any kind of expectation of what's coming, because what's coming is not what we just had. So the expectation kind of gets thrown out the window at that point in time, and you have to reevaluate, which is really nice. It keeps the ear interested in what it's hearing. Ooh, that into. Is that semitonal? It's really crunchy. Yeah, I think that's semitonal. Really, really crunchy sound there for a second. And I love this. It's an interesting blend, because there's a sense of almost like a kind of Gregorian chant going on here. But the harmony that's being used is very contemporary. And that mix is awesome. Really, really cool. These little bits of clashing here and there that are coming in. I think it's giving us this really unique sound, and I am absolutely here for it. And there, into the bright light, carry ties that bind. Not we carry the ties that bind to you. Just carry ties that bind. It's interesting because we know exactly what, that we can extrapolate that lyric because we've heard it once before. And I think it's a smart decision to break up that rhythm and the sound that we're expecting by breaking that up right there, because they can do that and it works really well, I think. I also love what they're doing here with the lyrics. Firstly, I love this presentation of this video. There's actually a lot more to it than I was expecting. But notice that they're using opacity and darkness of the text to actually kind of represent a little bit of what's happening in the music as well. Because ties, the word, is saying, carry ties. Ties kind of fades back a little bit, and the lyric is faded on the screen as well. I'm aware it's slightly faded out here. But at its strongest in this moment, it is not particularly visible. And then that as well, the color of the font that's there, it kind of blends a little bit into the intricacy of the camera mechanism behind it. It's interesting how they've presented this, and where they've chosen to place the text, and how, and obviously we're going to get that ring effect later, we'll come on to. But there's obviously some very clear thought gone into how this lyric video is being presented, and I absolutely love that. And notice into bright light is on the brightest part of the screen, things like that. And the out when it comes in. That bind is, the that is almost as bright as the out, but as I say, it's kind of a bit muddled because of the pattern behind it. Bind is fading away. Out as a word is so much clearer in the singing, and it's also much easier to read on the screen. Very, very, very smart presentation here. Also fascinating how the words are being brought on and off the screen, too. Out of the darkness and into darkness for a second. Light the bright. Like, obviously that doesn't mean anything specific, but I like the way that they're leaving certain words on screen. Oh, my mouse is totally in the way, isn't it? I did not notice that. They're leaving certain words on screen in a way that kind of suggests alternative meaning at points as well. That's really cool. And the emphasis there, I noted that as we went through, the bomb, 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 so much more separated, so much more present in the mix at that point. And it's really nice having that, what's the word I'm looking for? The sort of, not quite punctuation, but almost. It's a soft punctuation on that precise moment there. Even the ha, 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 ha. It's been there in the background, but not as... It feels stronger in this moment, even though it's actually not. And we have the sort of flute sound coming in a little bit as well. It changes the texture of the song right there. We've kind of gone from simplicity into a bit more of a mishmash of not muddled sound. That would be to imply that it's mixed up, but there's a lot... a busy sound. And then all of a sudden the bomb, bomb, bomb kind of cleans it up a little bit. And I really, really like that. This I love. We've already had the symbolism of the circle multiple times. We've got the film reels, we've got the light at the beginning. Here, having the lyrics in that, it makes it hard to read. And we've got this polyphony happening right now, this multiple lines of different harmonic sound that are mixing in and out of each other and making the whole thing sound a little bit more muddled. And so we bring lyrics onto the screen that are really hard to read. Like, yeah, sure, you can read them, but also because they're moving, they're they're going deeper into the frame, they're going out of focus. You're having to really fight to see what's happening on the screen, and again, it's mimicking what's happening in the sound, which I think is fantastic. And yet we have that moment once more. And and that's the last section before we cut away to a different image. Really, really impactful. And that time we get the high flute or piccolo coming in there with a da, da, da. And it really stands out in that moment. That's the end of a section, very, very clearly. We're a little bit over a third of the way into the song right now. And we've had a definitive break there for the first time, really. Oh, that's so nice. I love this transition. That carries on. The single note in the wind is held on, and then we suddenly get this coming. That's that lovely sound of a tenth. It's such a beautiful sound where it's not which would be the third. 1, 2, 3. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're coming in with the third an octave up, and it's such a beautiful balance having those two notes sounding together. And I love that we get that ha. Just for a second we get the fifth in the ha before they fade out slightly. And it's a resolution too. Yeah, suddenly the we suddenly get the fifth and the major third coming in, and it changes the tonality of the song in that moment. We get this, you know, very kind of epic image with a slight camera shake that's going on there as well, kind of signifying the magnitude of this moment in the song, and this complete tonal shift. It's so good. Oh, doesn't that... There's something about da 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 da. That's such a... There's such a sense of wonder to that musical phrase. It's so beautifully written. Da 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 da. What's that? Sorry, it goes down again at the end. Da 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 da. So simple, but there's something about the way that it's been voiced. It's that we've got the tonic down there and the major 7 there. Da da. Sorry, the minor 7. Excuse me. Da da da. That's a really, really nice focus on that moment, and it just gives us this sense of we're about to discover something monumental. I love that. And the voices in the back. That might be helping it too. We have a minor 6, I think. Yeah, yeah, what they're doing is really interesting. We have a minor 6, that da-da-da, there's the 5, and they go up to the minor 6, just a half step, a semitone up. And then they shift around from there. But that minor 6 happens against the minor 7 in that sort of wonder melody I was talking about. And I think that's one of the things that contributes to that sense of, like, of mystery and marvel. Because what you're almost getting there is a da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, you're almost getting like a minor 6, minor 7 tonic in effect, but you're not, because they're happening at the same time, so you don't get the transition, you get them both at once, and I think that's really interesting. And then I think what we shift to then is the da-da, you have the 5th, but also with the 4th. They're sitting very close together in that ha-ha pattern that they're doing up there, and it's really adding juice to the harmony that's happening right now. There, I think you've got the ha-ha. Actually, no, it might be a third and a fourth. I think it's because they go up to the fifth afterwards. I think that's a third and a fourth. So you have another crunch. You have another semitonal harmony, which is very, very impactful. Yeah, because ha, he, ha. There's your fifth again. So yeah, I think it's a third and a fourth. That's lovely. I really like that passage. And all the time underneath, you've got that just holding on. Really, really effective just having that pedal note. They're doing a lot with pedal notes in this, and I think it's extremely well done. It just gives us this grounding moment, and it allows all this shifting above. And it's the fact that we are being anchored in that as our tonic note, that these chord shifts above are sounding sort of extra wonderful, because it's all shifting around that one chord, and so we're being kept in key, which allows these chords to shift slightly out of key without us ever losing our home base. Really, really interesting there. And now we're going to switch up again. And now we've shifted tonality back to minor again, and so we're bringing in a totally different sound. And of course now this is instrument heavy. We've kind of shifted away from the vocals for a second, which is another really cool change. Oh, yeah, that chromatic move there. Da, 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 da. Wow, that's so cool because it's so unexpected. We've set up an extended broken arpeggio. Da, 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 da. I think. So da 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 da. We've gone past the tonic, up another minor third. So we're setting the concept of this minor chord being our home bass, but we fall out of it in such an unexpected and interesting way. And it's the first time you hear that, it's like, whoa, what just happened? Everything I thought was about to happen didn't. It's really, really cool. Oh, beautiful. And now we know it's going to go somewhere else. We get a different arpeggio on our way up. Da, 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 da. We don't go cleanly up to the tonic at that point in time. We sit on the minor seventh for a moment, and then we go chromatic again, because we can set up that we're not in a pure minor key anymore. We know that we're not going to stay there. Really, really cool. Da, 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 da. That's such a lovely movement, and it could go so many places. That final chord, da, 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 could go into a totally different major key. We don't, but it's lovely because that movement sets up a sense of we're not quite sure where we're going to end up. And that wistfulness of the flute sound over the top, that's absolutely beautiful. And the slight fall-offs that we've got there, it adds to this ethereal nature. And the way that they've got the EQ and the reverb set up on the guitar, it's got a slightly haunting, it's got a slightly haunting quality about it. And so we're just doubling down on that again and again throughout the duration of this piece. And I am absolutely loving it. Also note that we're now shifting back to the camera and the focus on the camera lens and things like that. We're kind of peeling back to where we were at the beginning of this. Oh, Floor's line there is gorgeous. Gorgeous. Yeah, it's the same line that we just had more. I think it may be slightly different. But that da 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 da, it's that same move up, that same solid minor arpeggio that then suddenly shifts into the chromatic section. And it sounds almost more haunting in a voice, especially Floor's voice. She's so good at nailing the right timbre and vocal tone for what she's singing in any given moment, and this is just gorgeous. Yeah. Lovely, lovely stuff. We get that same melody again. The second melody is then repeated in the voice, just as the first one was, and then we shift out of it in such an interesting way. We've changed Gabom. We're now here where we were. Hang on, where are we going? Yeah, we've just shifted up a little bit. But it's what happens now harmonically on the See Me, See Me. We're still in a minor tone. And that see me is almost pleading. So, especially because we're staying in the same key, we're leaving that minor chord on top of it. And that's so much more certain and sure of itself. See me. So, even the boom. We got the second and the third of that chord there in that melody. And it's such a more grounded sound than what we were having a little bit before. We left this question of see me, and then almost like a self-answer of see me immediately afterwards. That's so interesting, and I really love that as a harmonic shift. I also love the rhythm here too. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have the first see me offset starting on beat 2, and then rather than having that repeated, it pushes ahead. That assuredness, the confidence of that answer comes in on beat 1 of the next bar, and so that little push makes it sound all the more sort of assertive. Really nice choice. And we have the same thing, but this time that melody that leads us in there, so alike, it's much more capricious and bouncy than what we had before. It's lost a little of the melancholy now. It's like that second assertive see me has put confidence back into the singer. I really like that. The difference between these... Let's just jump back a section. The difference between this dum, 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 slow on the beat, and there's a little bit of syncopation there. We start on the 2 and. So we start a beat and a half into the bar. 1, 2. Ba-da-da. It's a very, very different sound to what the previous line had been. And it completely changes up the tone of the song for a second. It's lovely. That is so... I love what they've done here. Up to that point, on an island of a ship. That is all that same sort of bounciness. But then on Shipless Crew, it pulls the tempo back in the vocals. Wow, what a tonal change. This is mesmerizing. They're doing such a good job of pulling us into their world with this. The shipless. Each syllable, or each note, because I guess ship is technically one syllable, pulls back further and further on the tempo, and the guitar almost doesn't follow it quite. It's an interesting counterpoint. Because the guitar keeps playing behind that for a moment, it sounds like it's going to pick up again until you hit that chord on Crew. It sounds like it could just be a shipless yum da 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 dum dum, something like that, where it just picks right back up again after, and a bit of rubato, i.e. like a give and take of tempo, rather than a full pullback on the tempo. And then we come into this beautiful harmony to end on. The clarinet coming through there. It's so interesting. That note does not sound at all good with the chord that was just played before it, but it pierces through at this point, sounding beautifully in key for the new chord we sit on here. The da, French horn I think there. The da da. That slight clash almost with the end of the previous line, but it pushes forward into the next one. That's beautiful. Oh. Wow. Dum 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 dum. And I was talking about that earlier, that dum, 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 where I was talking about the clashing harmony in the vocals earlier. That's that minor 6, minor 7 tonic that they were singing the minor 6 and the minor 7 together earlier. Now it's that lovely lead up as we go into that final note. Oh, that's so beautiful. And then the resolution of that guitar chord coming on over the top. Beautiful stuff. And that da-dum-dum-dum that the clarinet plays. 3, 1, 5 in terms of the notes on the chord, but there's something about it that's got, it still feels like it's asking a question a little bit because it kind of fades away. We're finishing on the 5, which is a very uncertain place to finish. You expect to resolve from there to bum bum, especially because we set that up, right? Da dum 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 bum is what you kind of think's going to happen. And instead it fades away, and I think the French horn fades a fraction of a second after the clarinet, which is lovely because while the clarinet is the focus sitting up there on the 5, the French horn's on the 1, so we do actually end kind of with a resolution, but it's a harmonic resolution, not a melodic one, which is interestingly unsatisfying. You know that we're about to go somewhere else, and I love that visual of where we've seen the piano before, the hands laid on the keyboard ready to play, and I assume that would then be the beginning of the next song, and that's a really, really cool way to end a video. That's awesome. I love what they put into this, the thought that went into this as a lyric video. It's so much more than just that, and I really appreciate that. Like, this whole video told a story all on its own. And that's really, really cool. What a beautiful introduction to an album. That's an amazing track 1. I really, really like that. And I'm excited to see where it goes. I've kind of done this really weird reverse way of looking at this. But I'm fascinated to see where we go from here. So I'll come back to this in a bit and take a look at that. I was thinking I might just do these two and then binge the album for myself because I want to listen to it, but I'm really intrigued to see where they go. So maybe early in the fall I'll come on to track 2. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope you got something out of it. I love listening to that. And I forgot to say it again. Check the description below. You will see the link to the original video. Please go and support that video and Nightwish themselves. They are wonderful. But yeah, hopefully I brought you something, whether it was Nightwish themselves, in which case, for goodness sake, go and check them out. They're incredible. Or this song, or whether you've seen this and listened to it a bunch since it came out. How long has it been now? I realise I'm not actually that certain. It has been this came out in January. Well, this video came out in January. I don't know exactly when the album was released. But yeah, it's been a few months now, so maybe you've listened to this a bunch, and hopefully I was able to point something out that made you go, oh, that's why I like that, or I'd never noticed that before. That's really what I'm trying to do here. So if I've achieved that, I'm a very happy man. Yeah, and that was that. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate the time that you folks spend with me, especially if you're still here at the end of the video, so thank you very, very much. Please do hit the like button and the subscribe button and the notification bell. I would really, really appreciate more subscriptions. We're so close to 4,000 subscribers on the channel, and I would really, really love to hit that before we hit the sort of middle of fall. I have plans for a month coming up, and I'd love to have a big number to start that on. So let's see if we can't get to 4,000 subscribers. But yeah, please do hit those buttons, hit the notification bell to decide how often YouTube tells you I'm doing stuff. And then if you would like to support the channel, you can head over to buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts and leave a donation of any amount to support the channel, or contribute to my wishlist item, which is my ongoing subscription to Premiere Pro. Or you could head over to patreon.com/DavidKReacts. You can sign up there for $2 or $4 Canadian a month, or your regional equivalent. And right now, that's just supporting the channel on an ongoing basis. It does give you access to my Discord channel, but there will also be more coming down the line. Or you could leave a super thanks here on YouTube. And any of those, very gratefully appreciated if you choose to do them. No pressure, of course. And yeah, that's about that. So again, thank you for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, whatever time it is, wherever you're watching this, nighttime, middle of the day, morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it happens to be. Let's go for 10:01 a.m. See if I can catch somebody then. But yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed this. Have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.